Life is precious, and we all have the opportunity of living it to the fullest. Unfortunately, so few of us know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, and careers? How do we account for the one life we have to live? I am so glad you asked. In this program, you will find answers to all of these questions and more. Welcome to the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore.
What's happening, everybody? I'm going to welcome you back to another episode of the I AFYL Podcast. And today, here's what we're talking about: the power of healthy living. Woo! The power of healthy living. I was sitting here like, man, I think we should talk about some things that I'm pretty passionate about. I'm probably passionate about most of the stuff I talk about here. So the power of healthy living, and got a couple of stories for you. But happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. If you're watching or listening to the podcast, I just want to say thank you so much for being a mother. Thank you so much for, for really being a staple in your household when it comes to rearing children. We need our mothers, and thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day to you. So let's get into what we're talking about today: the power of healthy living. There's three main words in this passage, in this excerpt here: power, healthy, and living. We're going to talk about all three of those words. We're going to break those words down. We're going to insert ourselves into this statement. That's what we're going to do. We're going to insert ourselves into this statement because there's not a person on the planet that doesn't want to tap into the power of healthy living. No one wants to say the power of not living healthy. No. We want the power of healthy living. So I went and just looked up the words. What is power? We're going to start with power. What is power? The ability to do something or act in a particular way, especially as a faculty or quality. So, the capacity or ability to direct or to influence the behavior of others or the course of events. Power. Here's how we can think of power. Power is a force. Come on now. Power is a force. When we wake up and see the sun has force. The sun is creating energy. Your body has energy. Your body has so much energy in it. Our bodies can power up whole cities. Your body, my body can power up a whole city if it was connected the right way. There's a force when we're talking about power. What is healthy? What is healthy? The root word of health is heal. The root word of health is heal. What is heal? So what is healthy? The state of being free from illness or injury. The state of being free from illness or injury. A person's mental or physical condition. Man, I was just, up to see my parents yesterday, and my dad is, he's 81. He's going through some health challenges. He had to get a pacemaker put in because, his heart is not as strong as it used to be. He actually had heart surgery almost 20 years ago. So, things, health. He's not healthy right now. He's 81. Look, I've seen people at 81 just moving great. Right now, he's not moving so great. He wants his health, right? He wants to be free from illness or injury. He wants that. So look, there's an ability we have to tap into to be healthy. Now let's jump into living. What is living? Some definition of that. Living. What is living? The pursuit of a lifestyle. I love that one. The pursuit of a lifestyle. So let's think. Ability, right? Power is ability. Health is free from. The ability to be free from, right? So that we can have a lifestyle. The power of healthy living is the ability to be free from, right? To be free from illness or injury so that we can have a lifestyle that we want. That's the power of healthy living. So if we were going to have if you and I was going to incorporate something so that we could, one, have the ability, right, to be free from and be free to live the way we want to live, then what would we do last week? Last week, go back and check out last week's episode. We talked about a lot of powerful things last week. One day, I can't remember which day it was, but we talked about the power of daily routines. I'm at the gym this morning, and here's what's interesting, right? It's Sunday, and it's interesting because I go to the gym every day, right? Except Saturday. So I go 6 days, and when I get in there, typically around 7:15, there's a lot more cars in the at the shopping center. It's Sunday. Most people take off, and it's like, wow, it's not too many people at the gym this morning. Now, that doesn't mean that's not quite so bad, because maybe some people just go 5 days a week. But I say, I'm going 6 days. I'm only taking 1 day off, right? Because this ability, power is ability. So power gives us the ability. Healthy is to be free from illness or injury, and then living is the pursuit of a lifestyle. So if I want to pursue a lifestyle, then I'm going to have a daily routine that helps me. Listen, and it's even bigger than just the daily routine and going to the gym. I was up at my parents' house yesterday, and I'm looking around my parents' house. I'm looking at all the stuff that they shouldn't have in the house, the food. I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? Mom, why do you have those things in the house? She says, well, I don't eat that much. I'm like, what is going on in here? Now, my mom, she is intellectually a healthy person. But what I discovered, I'm like, Mom, you are tripping. She's got all kinds of stuff in the house. I'm like, man, you got to get this stuff out of the house. You can't have this kind of food in here. She was like, yeah. And so it was interesting because we were talking, and because what made my dad have to go to the hospital last week is that his heart rate was low. And so we started talking about heart rates and stuff like that. So my mom took his blood pressure, how everything was cool. And then, so my brother Reggie, he had one of these nice Samsung watches. And so he's like, yeah, I can see my heart rate, know what my resting heart rate is. Everybody started taking their resting heart rates. And I said, yeah, my resting heart rate's around 50, 52. They was like, that's pretty low. I said, yeah, but I exercise so much. And then, so I took it, we did it, and it was 48. It was like, dang, like, like, man, your resting heart rate is 48. Now, if you're not in good health, that may not necessarily be good for that person, because that person's not getting enough. That person needs more oxygen. My body can sustain at a certain level because I've used something called power, right? Power is just ability. That's all we said power is. Power is the ability. So the power of healthy living is this. It's the ability to be free from illness or injury so that we can pursue a lifestyle. So think about this. If the end result is a lifestyle, come on now, walk with me here. If the end result is a lifestyle, because we got to start at the end. If the end result is a certain type of lifestyle I'd like to live when I'm 80 years old, 90, if I'm still living at that age, then today at 50, if I'm 50 and I'm just getting started, then I'm going to have to take, even though I haven't started, I got 30 years. I got a lot of years to get there. So I'm going to go ahead and get started today. A lot of times people don't start because they're like, well, I wasted the 10 years before. Okay, great. Start now. Start now. You only have time now. So Power of Healthy Living just says we're going to use our ability today so that we can be free from illness or injury, so that the lifestyle that we ultimately desire is what we get. Look, I get it, because sometimes, and I think I have this issue, I call it issue, or I have this way of doing things, and it's like I do it. A lot of times I do things so long. Have you ever done something so long that it just becomes easy? It seems easy, so when people look at you, well, you're different. Has that ever happened to you? That's happened to me. Like, I've been doing things so long, certain things, but you know what? I've got to incorporate this power into something else. I think tomorrow we're going to talk about something else. We're going to talk about the power of something else that we want, right? Because one of the things that we're going to do in this podcast is is I want to see you get results. I was talking to my friend Sonia on Friday, and she was telling me, what she had been gleaning from the podcast. I was like, that's great, but at the end of the day, man, I want to make more of an impact. What about you? Yesterday we talked about having a why. The why that makes you cry, and once we cry and once we know that that's the why, we just got to go. Right. And so one of my whys is this healthy living, right? To actually show my sons, right? Because, I'm talking to my sons, Jared's 20, Jacob's 17. I'm like, hey, you're going to need this power at some point. You got to make a decision today to live a certain way so that when you get of age, those other ages, you're not looking back saying, I wish I would have. Let's not say that we wish we would have. And let's harness the power. Let's harness the power of healthy living by deciding what our lifestyle would be like at another age. Go 20 years ahead. Decide what your lifestyle would look like, and then come back to the beginning. Because once we decide what the lifestyle is going to be like, then we'll be able to exert the power. We'll be able to use this ability that we already have. We'll use this ability we already have so that we can help ourselves to be free from injury or illness so that we can pursue the lifestyle we ultimately desire. So guys, I appreciate you for joining me for this episode of the I AFYL Podcast. Tomorrow, I think we're going to talk about the power of a healthy business. I think for entrepreneurs, that's going to be, that's very high up on the list. I want to make sure we tap on that as well. So don't miss tomorrow's episode, the power of a healthy business, guys. I appreciate you joining me, and I look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow. God bless. I'll see you soon. Peace.
Thanks for joining us, listening friends. We are so glad you invested this time with us. Always remember, you only have one life to live, so live it to the fullest. This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.